Hey guys, just thought I'd do a quick tutorial on reamping. So my setup's basically Cubase on a Macbook Pro or M1 Max. And I'm running an XFX with the RME UCX with a Little Labs Redeye 3D. So the actual cabling and signal wise, the guitar is going instrument cable straight to here. So this goes from my guitar to here. Then it goes from here to the XFX input or instrument line. Then at the back, you've got, on the back left, it's going from XLR to output 5 on my RME. So the mic in goes to my output 5 on the RME, and on the back right, it's basically an XLR to XLR cable on my RME. So that the back right is just for phantom power. If you, you kind of need it to be able to run it with the LED on and to power it up. So how do you get phantom power on this? Well, on the RME, there's no actual physical buttons you press for that 48 volts. So what you do, you go into totalmix, go to mic 1 and 2, and you click this 48 volt. That'll ensure that this is that'll just power this. Now inside, if we go inside Cubase, I've recorded a wet and a dry track, or a DI track. Let's have a listen to the wet. And the DI, I'm actually using a whammy for the DI, so the pitch shifting effects are baked into the DI. So now, if we want to reamp this, it becomes a lot easier now because you don't have to keep switching interfaces or running aggregate devices. This is actually becomes very simple now. So all you do is you go to you make a new track. You set this to, I've set it as AX, which is my output analog 5, because that's where the cable's going to. Now, if I press play, you'll see that it reamps it because I've set it to monitor it. And then all you got to do is just record it now. So there's our tone. Now you could now, let's say you want to find inside XFX, you want to find a different amp, it'll do it. Or you can even use the actual knob here and flick through presets. Or if you, let's go to some bass tones here. And you can move things and record it. It will automate it basically. So yeah, that makes reamping a lot easier. Just to recap, you got to make sure your inputs and outputs are set correctly. So the output, I'm sending mine to analog 5, and then on the input, it's actually going from SPDIF left and right. So I prefer to work in SPDIF just because you can record in stereo as well. So if you add reverb or delay, you can reamp a lot easier. So that means that in the DI, it's going to AX, which is basically output 5, and then in the arm track it's on reamp, which is the SPDIF. Now, a couple things to note. My knob here on the instrument level is set kind of almost all the way. That one you just tweak to your liking, so I usually like to just crank it. Now, if you're recording your guitar, you turn this off and you just record your DI. And when you want to reamp, you just press that button and it reamps. The other thing worth mentioning for the RME users out there is that make sure that when you're on 5 and 6, which we call the AXE, capital AXE, on their outputs, make sure that everything else except for AM56 is on. So don't have sliders here or like that on. Make sure these are all off. I spent a while, a few hours actually, trying to figure out why why when I reamp it doesn't actually, it kept playing a loud noise and keeping it there. I thought it was ground lift or something, but what it was just a sneaky slider kind of like that from a past settings I did, and I left it there, and the output was going back into Axe effects, so it was feedbacking it. So just make sure, you know, you're going through your channels and making sure nothing else is armed that you don't want to. So that'll obviously affect the signal that goes from your RME out to your reamp box. And in this case, our DI and reamp box is both in one thing. That's the good thing about the little labs. So yeah, highly recommend this setup, guys. It makes reamping so much easier. As you can see, you just click a button. You just push a button, arm a new track, set it to the right output or input, and you just record. And then you can just flick through presets. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a DI. Now we can just record, I don't know, you can record a piano or a WAV file, or let's say CTR drops, or let's go to a Vengeance pack actually, Melody. So if I go here now, if we pick an amp, you can record you can reamp vocals. Like you get some cool, you can get some cool effects by putting I don't know, let's say so you can get some cool effects with vocals as well. So really, with this method, you can reamp on the fly without having to switch devices or use aggregate devices. So I used to use this a lot and create a new aggregate device, and you got to figure out the right inputs and outputs, and it's a bit buggy as well. So with this method, everything's in input 1, so you don't have to even change this input 1 to, you know, you can keep all your presets the same. You don't have to change it to USB or input 2. As you can see, you just leave it as input 1 and just go through all the presets. So yep, thanks for that, guys. Any questions you got, just give me a shout or in the comments. See you on the next one.